Hey guys, this is Dr. Hill at Rayford Animal Wellness Clinic, or ROC, where pets aren't just cool, they rock. Hey, thanks for joining. I'm excited. I think this is hopefully a really helpful video, and it's the start of a few videos that I'm going to do for emergencies. So it's not meant for you to look at when the emergency happens, but to prepare you as much as possible, as much as we can prepare before an emergency happens. So this video is going to be the financial part of it. I know that's the hardest part to think about, but it can be very helpful if we have thought about it before that moment where you've got other things you're thinking of, like, is my pet going to make it? You know what I mean? And that can be a really hard point to say, hey, I got to figure these financial things out. So the more you can do beforehand, the better. And so let's start with how much might it cost if an emergency happens with my pet. And I'm going to give you an estimate that, could be more or less, but I'm going to think 600 to 2,000, I think, is pretty expected, and can go up to 5,000 or even higher dependent on the emergency we're talking about. And that's because if you have days of hospitalization, like a hit by car or something like that, or a very serious disease, it could go past that $5,000 mark. So, and for some people, just like, I can't do it. But what can you do? Like, are there things that we could do to prepare so that you've got, a thought of, okay, this is what we can do? And sometimes there's more than you think about. So we'll go over some things. We'll start with pet insurance. Think about it, look into it. It's not for everyone, don't get me wrong, but there are some different levels, and pet insurance can sometimes, like, there's different levels where they help you pay for the wellness stuff and things like that. Those are, as well as emergencies, those are more expensive. They have some others that just cover emergency care. Again, look at that cost and is it worthwhile for you? Now check these insurances though, because some have pre-existing conditions and things like that. So you want to make sure you're really covered for the emergencies, that could happen. So hit by car, like I said, is a huge one. Like, what if that happens? There's so many things that could go with that. Insurance though doesn't pay out usually immediately. You usually have to pay it and then they reimburse you. So you want to have some plan for how you're going to pay that money immediately. And my thought on that is something like care credit. Care credit is you're basically taking out a loan. You do apply for it, but most veterinary clinics take it, and you get, sometimes there's different plans, but 6 months to a year of interest-free time to pay the bill off. And sometimes that makes it doable. Like, okay, I could figure that out, right? They pay immediately. They can also, just so you know, you can do cosmetic surgery and dentistry and, other things for yourself with it as well. But it's so nice, what a relief to know that money is sitting there. If an emergency happens, you have access to it, and most clinics accept it, right? So there are other options. There are other payment options. I think there's one called scratch pay and things like that. Only certain clinics may take those, but it still may make it really helpful and doable. So go online. Like I said, the care credit's there. You could check that out. There's some information for pet insurance in case you want to check that out and check out the different options. And then if those aren't options, going ahead and talking to friends and family members, looking into different rescues and things like that. Go online. I've even had people do, now you wouldn't be able to do this preemptively, but if something happened to their pet, they've gone online and done GoFundMe's, like, hey, we need this surgery, can you help us? And I've seen communities and things just really come together and help these guys, and that's really awesome. So think about that, try to prepare for that as best you can. Certainly better to have something planned and ready in case there's any sort of emergency. So this isn't the first thing on your mind that you're going to have to think about when there's so many other things you are going to be thinking about. So hopefully that helps. Consider that. If you have other ideas or other things that have helped you, please let me know, let everybody know. But just to get you kind of thinking and prepared, and hopefully you don't have to ever use it. All right. Hope this helps. Thank you guys so much. Have a great one.